Hi, it's Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. I make videos about books. Please hit the subscribe button. It really helps my channel grow. This is a mood reading vlog. Listen, it's June 1st. Happy Pride. The past year, I have been switching my content over to vlogs and themed reading vlogs. And it has really been super fun and I love doing them and it's helped my channel a lot. But before this, I was 100% a mood reader and just did sit down videos depending on what was going on in the book community, and everything has changed for my content. And the thing is, I miss mood reading. So I still do it, but I don't usually fit them into videos because first I just when I mood read, I don't even think about what video it could be put in. I just do it. So I am gonna put them in a video, and this is a mood reading vlog. So I don't know what I will be reading. I have a couple books I have checked out or I want to read or I own that I really want to get to, but like I said, I don't have a video for them and I just want to read them. So I think this video is going to be 3 or 4 books long. So let's talk about the first one that I am reading. And I'm reading this book for the second time, and I have never once talked about it in a vlog on my channel, and I don't know why, but that is The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. I read this last year when it came out via audiobook only because my library got the audiobook before the book was released. Something happened. I don't know. I didn't question it. I just listened to it in one day. I'm rereading this because I get to meet Ashley Winstead this month. Once again, I don't know when this video is going to come out, but I get to meet her this month at an event at my local bookstore, and I'm going back and reading all of her books except for In My Dreams I Hold Knife, which is my favorite book by her because I have that on down pat, but I have reread all of her other ones and I read an arc of her newest book. So I'm 35% into The Last Housewife. I forgot how dark this was. I knew it was dark. That is the whole premise of this book. This book is very dark, which is why I like it. Her thriller shit, dark. What is wrong with her? In a good way. But compared to her romance stuff, which is so funny, she's the best of both worlds for me because I read romance and thrillers. Anyway, I digress. So we are following somebody, Shay. Shay is a housewife. She was a writer and she quit her job to write a book. I know she's not really doing anything. She's just a housewife, but she's listening to this podcast, and her childhood friend is the host of this podcast, and she's listening to him talk about a murder of her best friend from college. So now she is helping him investigate this murder of her friend, and the stuff that happens to her, and I am in the beginning of this book. It's scary, infuriating, but there's a part 12% in where this cop says something totally sexist and cruel, and that's when I was like, oh my god, I completely forgot everything about this book, which is why I wanted to reread it so I could talk about it with her because I liked this book a lot. So 35% into The Last Housewife, I am everything is coming back to me, but I'm just Shay? Nope, Shay Earnshaw. No. Ashley Winstead is fucked up in the best way possible. This book is infuriating and I love it so much at the same time, and I love when authors can do that. So that's what I'm reading right now. Absolutely love it. This is such a good book, and so I just wanted to talk about it finally since I'm rereading it and putting it in a video. So welcome to this mood reading vlog. I don't know what I'll be reading. Let's find out together. Hello, I finished The Last Housewife again. This was a reread. I absolutely love this, and that's because I read this not even a year ago and I completely forgot everything about it. Literally everything. A twist happened towards the end and I literally was like, what? I did not see that coming, because even though I read it last year, I remembered absolutely nothing about this. So glad I reread this. 5 stars, girl power. Like, I absolutely love the ending of this one, but it is super dark. I would say last year I was just starting to get into thrillers and horror, so I felt like it was really a lot darker last year, and this year where I am now and I've read way more thriller and horror, I'm like, yeah, that was dark, but I've probably read equal or darker things than that at this point in time in my life. So 5 stars for this. I cannot wait to meet Ashley Winstead. So excited for this. Meet her in like 6 days. So super excited. I'm 20% into romantic comedy. Normally I would update my first update around 25%, but this first chapter is 200 pages long, and this just felt like a good break. Like, I hate long chapters. This is extremely long. I am dying, but we are following Sally in 2018, where she is a comedy writer for essentially Saturday Night Live. I think this is called The Night Owl or something. And so far, I have like no feelings about it. It is very okay. Like, I personally don't think it's funny, but like, I don't really like comedy like that. Like, I don't think that shit's usually funny, so that could be a me problem. Also, so I'm listening to the audiobook and I can't decide if it's the writing or the narrator, but it feels very clunky. And I kind of think it's the writing. I have never read A Curtain Sittenfeld before, but I know that she has written Prep, which is YA, and it's like old school YA, like 2010. And then she has also written Eligible, which I know the cover of, but I haven't read. And now, like, depending on how I feel about this, I don't know if I will ever read, because this just feels okay. I'm already thinking about putting it on Pango, which is not good. And I checked how many are on Pango, and it's like over 140 are on Pango. So that's not good. But the reason I picked this up for mood reading and in general is because this was recommended to me by a bookseller, because she said, yes, it's labeled as like lit fic, but she said it was more romance. And I am trying to get into lit fic, and so far I don't like this. I know that I don't like it, but like, it's a solid 3 in my head right now, 20% in, so we shall see. I don't know. I am 62% into romantic comedy. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I was reading this during the day and I was like, okay, I'm excited to pick it up later. And I picked it up tonight and I really thought about DNFing it. But I was like, so if I get to 50%, I can mark it down as read on Goodreads. And I was like, I will get to 50%. That is no problem. I'm at 32%. And then I made it to 50%. And I got to chapter 2. Mind you, chapter 1 was 120 pages. That was one chapter, was 120 pages. Now I'm on chapter 2, which is the rest of the book, I assume. And it is July of 2020. So we're in the beginning of the pandemic. And the 2 main characters have come back reconnected through emails, and now I have been reading emails for 80 pages and it's really working for me. You're really getting to know these 2 characters, because in the beginning, the first chapter was just a week in their lives. The love interest, I assume, was a guest on the show that she writes for Saturday Night Live, basically. And they had this like connection, and then she ruined it. And now 2 years later, he contacted her, and now they're like really getting to know each other through email. And I just like it's been funny. Like, I've laughed out loud, which I wasn't expecting, because like I said, like I did not like the first part at all. Not at all, but like, I guess at all. I really thought about DNFing it. So now this email situation is like really working for me. So I'm glad I didn't DNF, but like, I wish it didn't take over 50% for this book to be good, right? Like, I hate that. I finished romantic comedy today on my car ride. If I weren't driving, I probably would have fallen asleep. Like, it's not very memorable. So I will be unhauling this, which sucks because I love this. Also, I have no fucking clue why it's called romantic comedy, because I didn't think it was particularly funny. Oh, I don't know. I would try Eligible by Curtis Sittenfeld, but like, I wouldn't buy it. And I don't think I would buy her next book. Like, I don't think this is for me. So I will not be doing that again. Like, I'm glad I tried it, but like, it's a very, very average 3 stars. I won't remember anything about this book a week from now. So I just don't recommend it. I will say, I was looking at Goodreads reviews, and I am like the complete opposite of everyone else who has also given it 3 stars. I saw so many reviews that people were like, I loved the first half of this book and hated the second half. And I am the complete opposite. I hated the first half of this and almost DNF'd it, and loved the second half. I liked the COVID stuff more than the Saturday Night Live stuff. I don't know. That is an unpopular opinion, but that just worked for me. So 3 stars for romantic comedy. I will be unhauling this. I'm not upset that I read it. I just wish it were better. I am 25% into Yellowface, and I knew what this book was about, but I didn't know like how it happened. And I just checked. And also, I don't think the first 25% of a book is a spoiler, but Athena, who is a literary darling, basically, dies. She chokes on a pancake, and choking is my #1 fear. So when I was reading that, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And June, or Juniper, who is the main character that we are reading with or from, witnesses her death and like tries to help her and everything, but like she can't. And then June steals Athena's brand new finished manuscript, and she's passing it off as her own. And I just got like 25% in. She stole the manuscript, she edited it, she sold it as her own, and now I'm to the part where it's like 2 months to publication. Like, this is nuts. And as a reader, like, I know a lot about publishing, so this is like, I've never read an R.F. Kuang because she writes mostly fantasy, like all fantasy. So it's really interesting reading this as like a reviewer, because she talks about June being white and writing about Chinese heritage and stuff, which like is something we talk about all the time, like, should authors stay in their lane and stuff, and that's what this book is really all about. Also the plagiarism. So really liking this so far. I am excited that I could like actually read a R.F. Kuang, because I know people love her books, but like I said, I knew what this was about, but like I guess I didn't know like the whole. And like, I did not know that Athena choked on a pancake, and that June literally stole the manuscript. Like, I was unaware of that, but I'm really liking this so far. I am 66% into Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I am obsessed with this. It's the writing, it's the story, it's the blatant racism, and it's the author stepping out of her lane, which we have conversations about all the time in publishing, but the fact that she literally stole her friend's work, who was Asian, and passed it off, and she's white. So now I've gotten to the point where that book had been out for a year, and like the paperback is out, and she's still doing okay, but like she hasn't written anything else. And she hasn't written anything else because like her debut didn't really sell anything. Not that she's not a good writer, but she's not like a super successful writer like Athena was. So now that she's passed off Athena's work as her own, and she has to write something else that is entirely her own, like Juniper sucks, and that's basically the whole point of this, is that she sucks. But like it's kind of like a car accident. Like I cannot look away. Like she just alluded that something bad is going to happen in the next chapter, and that's why I took a break, because like it's like I can't look away. Like what's going to happen next? It's going to be so bad. Like she's already had people come after her on Twitter. She's had someone accuse her of stealing Athena's work, and then she's had people be like, why are you writing about Chinese veterans in World War I when you are obviously white? And I cannot look away. Like I cannot look away from this book. It's such a fast read, and not only that, it's just like I cannot put it down. This is such a good book, and I cannot tell you how thankful I am that R.F. Kuang has written this, that I can read one of her works finally, because it's not fantasy. So I'm just absolutely obsessed with this. I finished Yellowface. I finished this so fast. I just like could not stop reading this. Absolutely love this. Easy 5 stars. I am hoping R.F. Kuang writes more stuff like this and fantasy, so like I can read some of her, because like her writing and her like her storytelling, like I said in my last clip, this was like a car accident you couldn't look away from. Like I absolutely could not put this down. Obsessed with this. This is 5 stars. This is one of my favorite books of the year. Like I don't understand why people don't like this one. I've seen mixed reviews, but like I'm absolutely obsessed with this book, and I'm so glad I got it. So 5 stars, amazing. I am 25% into The True Love Experiment by Christina Lauren. I am literally so excited about this book. I recently reread The Soulmate Equation before I read this one. Even though they don't necessarily connect, they pretty much do. So I felt like it was a good thing to do that. And I'm really glad that I did, because I fucking love The Soulmate Equation. It's one of my favorite romances ever. So we are following Fizzy, who is Jess's best friend in The Soulmate Equation, and she is a romance writer, which is beautiful. She is so witty and so fucking funny, and I love her. But anyway, it's been a year since The Soulmate Equation ended, and she has completely lost her mojo. She has not published a book in a year. She has not had sex in a year. She is not herself. So she meets this guy who is doing a reality show, and he asks her to be like the main person on the reality dating show, and where she will be dating 8 guys, but also it still has to do with River's genetic ally whole thing for The Soulmate Equation. So I'm glad that I reread it. But I'm absolutely loving this so far. And so she has to date these 8 guys, but she is falling for the creator of the dating show. I am absolutely obsessed with it already. I'm absolutely obsessed with it already. And I'm really liking this one in particular now that I don't love The Soulmate Equation. But we are getting the perspective of Fizzy and Connor, I think is his name. And I absolutely love that. If I can get a dual POV in literally every single romance that I read ever for the rest of my life, that would be my preference. And it's 2 narrators. So I could not gush about this. I'm 25% in. I know it's going to be a 5 star. It's so easy. It's gonna be a 5 star. I am 64% into The True Love Experiment. Obsessed. I absolutely love this. The thing is that it's nothing groundbreaking. Like, and that is why I love it. The relationship hookup thing with Fizzy and Connor is super complicated because she is supposed to be she's supposed to be trying to find her soulmate, but she likes Connor, who she's not supposed to like. So it's just it's quite interesting, and I'm just having a good time, which is what I always want to have when I'm reading. So I feel like there probably will be a third act breakup, which is fine. I'm not really worried about that. But I just want to talk about Christina Lauren for a little bit because back when I was getting into romance, or really getting into reading, or at least booktube, I picked up a lot of Christina Lauren, and a lot of it I did not like. And I feel like in the last couple of years they have really like changed their storylines or their writing or something, and it's all just working for me. And this really started with the Soulmate Equation, and everything I have read since the Soulmate Equation I've liked. So Soulmate Equation, Love and Other Words. I absolutely fucking love autobiography, and that's their YA, queer YA, and that was my favorite book of 2018. That's in a video somewhere on my channel if you want to watch that. But I just feel like the last couple of years they have done so well, and I just love this, and I love Christina Lauren. At least like their most recent stuff has been so good. I finished the True Love Experiment last night. I have to get this sticker off. It is driving me insane. But I'm giving it 5 stars. If you have read The Charm Offensive, which is one of my favorite romance books ever, then the ending reminded me of The Charm Offensive like a lot. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, because the rest of the story and even some parts of the ending were very different, but it was giving me those vibes severely. With The Charm Offensive, I was crying. With this one, I was not crying. Like, I just thought this was cute. The Charm Offensive was a cute romance, but it was also very serious, and I felt like the True Love Experiment did not take itself seriously like The Charm Offensive did, and that's fine. I will say I did like the Soulmate Equation better, but I'm giving both of them 5 stars, and I am very excited to see what Christina Lauren comes out with next, because I just feel like they've been on a roll recently. I am glad that I have this edition. I honestly should have waited a year for the paperback to come out, but I am so impatient. And I do have the special editions from Afterlight, so this was a good time. I really like this one. Okay, so this is the last book for this video, but I've decided to make this a series. So this is mood reading number 1, because mood reading is so much fun, and it's something that I used to do all the time, and now I feel like I don't do it. But I am buddy reading Wildfire with Monica from A Little Bit of Monica. I'm gonna put her channel down below. Definitely subscribe to her. She's one of my favorite people ever. But this is by Hannah Grace. This is a sequel to Icebreaker. Not really, it's in the same world. What is interesting about this is that at the end of Icebreaker there is an epilogue, but we are, I think I talked about this with Monica, I think we're just supposed to forget that there is an epilogue, and this starts kinda after the events of Icebreaker, but with 2 different characters. One of the characters is Nate's friend Russ, who is on the hockey team, and he did something with the hockey team, but me and Monica cannot remember what it is, so I'm hoping that he brings it up again. But it's really confusing because I have never read a romance book where we're just like supposed to forget the events of an epilogue happen. Like normally epilogue and then the start of a next book, right? I'm very confused. I feel like that was a stupid choice in my opinion. I'm not a writer, I don't know. But okay, so we're following Russ and Aurora, and they had a one-night stand, and it was super spicy one-night stand. And then she thinks that he is like trying to make her leave because he's hiding in the bathroom, but really we find out that he's trying to like prep himself to ask her out on a date, but there's miscommunication, so she leaves and he is upset and she's upset, and then they think that they're never going to see each other again. But then the very next day they both start as camp counselors at this camp that I can't remember the name of, and now it's super awkward because they obviously haven't talked about what went down. So I'm really liking this. It's from both of their perspectives, which I absolutely love. I don't know when this book comes out, August maybe, but the reason we are buddy reading this is because me and Monica both really liked Icebreaker, but we are both in agreement that there were just absolutely too much sex scenes, and that is like the whole purpose of this book. But we were just in agreement that like there was too much sex. Like, I had a whole closed door romance video that I think I really like closed door romance, and like this is too much. However, they have had sex once. They had that one night stand, and I thought that it was super spicy. So I'm liking this so far. I'm only 27% in, but the only thing in my opinion is that it's really confusing that we're just supposed to like think that the epilogue of Icebreaker did not happen so that another story could continue where they're still in college. That is stupid in my opinion. I don't know if they're going to take the epilogue out of Icebreaker because the story exists, but we'll see. But I'm liking this so far. I am 72% into Wildfire. I'm definitely liking it. I'm not loving it. I really did love Icebreaker, especially more than this one. And it's going to sound silly because I actually thought that there was too much sex in Icebreaker. Like, literally every chapter they were doing it, and in my opinion that gets boring. But in this one there's not enough. Like, Hannah Grace cannot find a balance. So the reason they aren't doing it so much here is that there are rules at the summer camp where they are counselors that they cannot have any kind of relationship with other counselors, so they are trying not to get caught. I have a feeling that they will get caught and it will cause a third act breakup, and I will let you know if there is a third act breakup. In Icebreaker there was not a third act breakup, but this one is just completely different. And I think it is so funny that there's just not, like, nothing's really happening, if that makes sense. They're just like absolutely enamored with each other, and it's cute, but I'm just not like wowed, I guess. This feels like a solid 4-star book, so I'm almost done and I will let you know. Hello, I finished Wildfire. I almost said Icebreaker. It's because I liked Icebreaker more than Wildfire, so I'm giving Wildfire 4 stars, which in my opinion is still really good, and I will be picking, I think there's gonna be 5 books in this series, and I will be picking all of them up. The reason, here are my reasons. I just liked Icebreaker more. I felt like the discussions with Anastasia's eating disorder was really, really important. And this one had to do with more Russ's family issues, which I couldn't really connect to personally, and that's a good thing. But I don't know, I just, once again, I felt like this was too long, which is fine. But I just personally liked the story in Icebreaker more than I liked the story in Wildfire. It's not that I didn't like the main characters in this, I just liked Anastasia and Nate more, and that's really it. So 4 stars for Wildfire. We'll be continuing on with the series. I am buddy reading this with Monica, and I feel like Monica probably will give it 4 or 5 stars. So yeah, that's the end of this video. I will be doing a mood reading vlog series. Goodbye. Before I got interrupted, I forgot to say thanks for watching my video. See you in my next one. Bye.
Losing time, I'm fading fast.